You're
Very
a
much.
fucking
Okay. Listen up, yo.
influential player.
Yeah.
We need
Let's not
to
have another
bring down
Charizard
some of these
moment.
NNs, okay? Bring down a few of these people in here, and we need to bring up Jack the Ripper because I would love to debate
Keep
him.
XSS6. SSX6 is chill.
I
I'm
would just
chill
say
with them too. You
I mean,
know,
you
I'm chill
have
with.
to request to speak if I'm going to put them on.
Yeah, Jack
and
is.
have to request stuff.
Is he here still? Yeah,
Is
he
he?
is. Yeah, bring him up. Bring him up. We need Jack up here.
I would just say,
Oh,
why
yeah,
are
that's
we
not
even
good.
playing the server? It's no longer anarchy. You know,
Jack.
what are we doing
Doesn't-
at this point?
Yo,
It's not
What's the
anarchy
draw?
anymore, but it can still be fun. You can still do shit.
Well, what's the draw
It's
for the
not
server? What is
anarchy
the selling point?
anymore.
I mean, realistically, it was never really anarchy.
Bingo! It was
Well,
never anarchy.
Like there was
It was
world
more anarchy than it is now. Yeah.
Oh wait, no shit, but like it still never really was anarchy.
You're neglecting the fact that it kind
after
of doesn't
my
matter
name.
what we think. When you Google anarchy server, this is still going to be the top
Yeah.
result.
Of course.
Right.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
This
Okay.
isn't
So
the- it's not-
who's been
this-
around for longer than 50% of the server's lifespan?
Me, sir.
And
I think a
consistently
lot of
played.
people here. Me, Deloaded. Actually no. A lot of these kids on YouTube.
So 6.5
Me, Deloaded,
years.
call me Scott. I think Squid.
Okay.
I don't know about Osma.
A lot of you are unfortunate because you came in off Rusher, and that is just how it is. Can't help that.
Yeah.
Wait,
You all got-
Jack.
No, I'm
Hold
not.
on.
I'm not pulling the Rusher fag argument. That's not what I'm saying.
No. I wanna ask you is how
Uh-huh.
when do you think the most people joined? You know, like do you think that 50% of the
Um,
server joined before Rusher?
No.
No, God, no.
Give me some
Maybe-
ratios here.
Maybe 30% joined prior to Rusher, and then 70% after.
There are actual
Oh.
statistics on
There
this.
are
by the
stats.
way.
Okay, I didn't know
No,
that.
It's
It's
way higher
more
than that.
skewed than you think it is.
Is it
like-
80-20?
It's
no,
like
it's like 90
595.
something percent.
Yeah,
90 to
five-
10?
It's
Holy
like
shit.
five-
Server was
95.
dead before Rusher. Server was long
Yeah.
dead before Rusher,
Yeah.
and then
Well,
we
yeah,
came
but there
back,
was a
and now
period of
always
activity.
max.
Prior to
Yeah.
Rusher, there's
Close.
maybe 150 something players, and then
Maybe
and
let
in
him
total,
explain his
total
point.
whoever
You guys
played,
stop being all
and then
100
post Rusher, there's thousands.
Oh no, on 2B there were
Wasn't there like 10 people online?
no, Russia's video had like 20 people online, so it was like
Yeah,
starting to
something
get
like that.
active again. But I'm pretty sure it was like 10, 20,000 before Russia.
Okay. So the overall point I'm making here is that the vast majority of you are ignorant to how the server was about 10 years ago, which is when it was at its peak originally prior to Rusher. 2013, 2014 was like the height of the server. Okay.
Oh, I was saying you support.
There
that.
has
Sorry,
always
but
been.
comparatively, that's a very small peak. You know what I mean? Like that's like
Yeah, but that's the next
I-
biggest peak you'll find.
I think that to be pre-Rusher is a completely different server, right? Just in the way that House just completely changed
Not
the server, I think
really.
Rusher completely changed it.
Yes, but not ultimately, not
Yeah,
really. All that matters is the philosophy has always been more or less the same. There has always been some sort of interference. There's always been stuff people don't like. So one of the big things that I remember when I first got onto the server was that you could go to the end. Well, that end was a prior end map that did not exist legitimately. Pop Bob's backdoor plugin had happened in late 2011. People got in portals. People went to the end. Housemaster found out about it, got mad, deleted the entire dimension. That, of course, made people ass mad too. And so for an entire year, we bitched at him, re-enable the end, re-enable the end. You're shutting us off from, because he was legitimately shutting us off from 1/3 of the, viable dimensions and all that shit. And so eventually he relented and did that. Here's how he did it. He went to, according to what the seed said, he went to the 3 spots around spawn, because back then only 3 strongholds generated per world. So he went to those 3 spots and deleted all the chunks that would have generated a stronghold. That was the very first time Housemaster did this type of shit. So, no, admin interference has been a thing in some form or fashion from the get-go. It just took some time.
Even before that, he used to world edit spawn all the time.
Exactly. I got trapped in the very first time I got out of spawn. I got lucky. I made it out about 180 kilometers, died to some dumb bullshit that I admit was my own fault, and I got sent back to spawn, and I was inside a box made of lava with spawn protected walls that you legitimately could not get out of. And
Okay.
Housemaster had to world edit all of that away.
Jack,
And once
I'm
upon
not,
a time,
I'm not
you
arguing
would.
that.
No,
I know. House has always
just-
been a figure.
I'm just illustrating the point that there's always been interference,
Mhm.
and that this idea of anarchy does pertain to him, and that this is not a new thing. We just had a very long lull in which that was not the case.
No, definitely disagreed. I
think this
tuned
might
into
be a
your
little
video
different than that.
earlier today. I decided to watch your video where you give your take on the new update of 2B,
Yeah.
where you're, walking around with your trident and shit. And you said, I don't know if this is a direct quote, you can correct me, but you said something along the lines of most of the people who are mad about the update
They
are
feel
upset that the server is
feel lied
harder.
to.
Do you believe that the server is harder now that it updated?
only like marginally.
Only
It was
marginally.
only
Okay,
made marginally
but-
harder.
But you believe it's a good thing. You said something
a little
along the lines of
difficulty's not
people that
bad.
are mad that they lost their stuff should learn a lesson because you can lose your stuff.
Well,
and
they're
it
losing.
happens,
They're learning a lesson that things are
They're
transient.
learning a lesson.
That things are
Okay.
transient. Yes.
Okay. So I personally I just find that crazy to say because in the
Why?
spirit of anarchy, bro, if someone's griefing my base, I'm fine with that, right?
Mhm.
Because that's anarchy. That's another user logging on griefing my base, But
Yeah.
I believe if I lose all my shit overnight, no warning, no communication, no nothing to an admin on the server who just felt like it, who just felt like they should do that, I
Yep.
don't believe that's a lesson for me to learn, right? What's the lesson? Maybe like
No,
No,
I
I just told you the
know?
lesson is that everything is transient. It
everything
can just
is.
happen out of nowhere. It can just
This
happen.
is just such a large
life.
viewpoint, though. Like, what does that mean?
No, that's. Oh, do you not know what the definition of transience is? Here today, gone tomorrow.
Temporary, no? Yes, temporary.
Temporary. You're right.
Yep. But
Everything is
it's
temporary.
temporary when I signed up, obviously I
Right.
obviously I never fully agreed to some rules of
Right, you
anarchy,
don't
right?
have
Like
to.
I know that it could
You
have
don't have
changed.
to. That's
know,
life. You were
but-
born, weren't you?
But if I'm logging on one day and then the next day the server is
Yeah.
a completely new, different server,
Yep.
I should at least hold some type of expectation
Hey,
as
Jack,
to the server I play on, as a player of
Yeah,
the
I
server,
think
as
you
someone who's
could-
devoted
I know
years of
you
my life
should.
to it.
In a
Hey,
fair
Jack.
world, that would happen. But
Hey, Jack.
we don't live in a fair world, do
So
we?
you're just saying
Jack.
the world isn't fair,
Right.
and
Yeah,
we
wait,
should cope.
Jack, stop. Jack, also consider that now we are
Mhm.
paying. Back when you were playing, you were not. We are
Well,
paying.
at some point I was paying.
I mean, I don't think
Donation,
it's
bro.
all would stand up in court. If like a landlord burned all their lodger's belongings, I don't think this
Yeah.
is a lesson things are transient would hold up in court.
No,
Okay,
no, that's
I
not the
think
point.
anyone
This
would
is
really accept it.
You're comparing apples to oranges, though, by using court. With a landlord situation, you've signed a contract. Have you signed any contracts?
We bought Trio, yes.
Yeah, he's citing that as signing a contract, according to the.
I
TPG
mean,
laws.
we do agree to the term, so yes.
Yeah. But at the same time, are you going to be able to bring him to a court somehow? Like, if
No,
you
I'm
can
not
bring
right to some
Housemaster to a
clauses.
court, you might be able to argue that case. But can you though? So
I mean,
I don't know.
It's a video
Well,
game server. Real
It
people
is a
don't
video
think
game,
that.
exactly. At the end of the day,
Well, like-
it's just a block game.
I mean, we might just be able. I just want to cause havoc for them as much as possible. and just,
I just
and
wanna
like
cause
it's hard
havoc
for
too, I
them to
know.
manage the server and crap so that
Peter,
Yeah,
that's
at the
end of
very
the day,
juvenile. Peter,
it's
that's
crazy
extremely
because
juvenile.
I'm not even too salty about the update. I disagree with it, right? But I'm not gonna
Right.
sit here and whine and cope, right, and do all these things, right? And
That's
I'm
literally what
certainly
this Discord
not
is.
gonna whine about my stash, right? Because I had a
Well,
stash, right? Like
right.
a lot of people did, and it wasn't big. It wasn't the biggest stash on the server type shit, right? And
Right.
it is what it is. I probably could have sold it for a few $100s before the update, right? But it is what it is. Everyone lost, everyone
Yep.
lost tons on that day, right? So I don't care about the stash. I don't care about the shit I lost. I care about the principle of the server. You know what I mean?
Right.
If House
Well,
is going to make a change on behalf of
I-
the community,
I hate
for
to
the
tell you this.
community, affecting the community,
Right.
and he's not going to talk to the community, he's not going to communicate, he's not going to do
Never
anything
does.
because he
Never did.
feels like it.
Yep.
So-
it's not
so
about the items.
In what world is this a fun server to play on? Like, how would you
Fun is
enjoy if
subjective.
tomorrow we go back to 1.2.5? Everyone gets an inventory full of duped items, right? It does the
Fun is
exact opposite
subjective.
of what you enjoy, and it's like, would you play on that?
Oh, fire!
I might not enjoy that, but
I would
might.
though. I
Or
would love
another
that
person
if my inventory is filled with duped items that I could fuck the server up, But what I'm saying is It's only people who want to play a certain type of server, right? Like Syndicate, he loves vanilla servers, right? That's cool. When the server turned more vanilla and less anarchy, he's now playing the server, right? That's fine for him, right? But my issue is that he can just abandon the player base. He can switch the server whenever he feels like to get a new wave of people in, right? And forget about the old, because who the fuck cares anymore? You know, I'm making money a different way.
Who
right?
cares about all those old people who came pre 2016?
So where's that? So
who
where's
cares
that
about all
fair?
the people who came post 2016? Yeah, where is the care? I don't know.
I care about the
It doesn't
majority of the, I
exist.
care about the community of the server. I feel like that should be the focus, no?
Oh, Maxi, you were saying just about every single thing I heard back in 2016
Well,
is
I
what it
mean,
is.
yeah.
Once
But
upon a
the-
time, you could
Hacking
use
patch.
Elytra,
There's
and
a
then
difference,
Elytra were
though.
disabled, and that
There's
was
a
how it
difference though,
was.
because one of them,
It sucked.
these examples are no, there is a difference, because when you're patching a crazy movement hack, right? Like let's say he's patching boat fly on the roof, right? There's crazy exploits that existed at 2B for like, you know, longer or
Right.
shorter periods of time, right? It's different, right? Elytra before it got patched for what, 2-3 years, was it? Something crazy like that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It was
disabled
used
a while.
nuts. Like there's videos, I forgot who it was. But you know, like that classic video, I forgot whose video is, you know, Housemaster raging in the top
It's
left corner.
Clyde.
Clyde?
Clyde made that video.
Yup. Yeah, you know exactly which video I'm talking
Oh,
about,
yeah.
where he's loading thousands of chunks in a minute, right?
Yeah, and
And
Housemaster messages
that
him on
makes
Steam.
sense,
Stop
right?
it.
Relatively,
so good.
obviously, he could have patched it in a good way,
Master.
but this is different. This isn't him patching something that's necessary to keep his server alive. Like he didn't need to patch anti-X-ray. Why? He did it because he felt like it. He did it because in his head he's like, I own this server and I do what I want, so let me do this for fun, right? So he didn't ask the community. He didn't do anything. This was not a necessary change. Nobody asked for him to do this, and he did it anyway. So explain to me why that's a good owner.
I
just
never
on the
said he was a
anti-
good owner.
I mean,
Just
well, why is that a
yeah.
good server to play on? Why would you want to play on a server like that? He's never done that in the
Maxi,
past.
Oh, he's
Maxi,
done this
consider-
hundreds of times. Are you
Not on
fuck-
this scale.
Have you been
Not on
paying
this
it?
scale. Not on
Yes,
this
he's
scale.
done stuff on this scale. Are
Not
you
on
kidding
this
me?
scale. Give me one other event that's as significant as the amount of things. He has an entire list. Never has he had an entire list of patch. He's patched small things. You know, the end shit is pretty crazy, I'm not gonna lie. But that's 2014, right? That's a different house entirely. That's not a team. Now he has a team of people. X-Ray is fucking patched. Has X-Ray ever been patched on 2B before? Has that ever happened?
It's not that
Never.
X-Ray was patched, but I can give you something just as significant as
Let me see it.
X-Ray that was patched. The Nether Roof.
That's not whoa. What?
Yes,
What?
the
No,
Nether
that
Roof is
nowhere
vanilla.
on the-
X-Ray isn't.
I mean, I missed the Nether Roof, man. There was cool shit. Like I knew builds on the Nether Roof, right?
the
that-
Nether
that-
Roof
that
was
were far out.
legitimate, though. X-Ray is
Yeah,
not considered legitimate by vanilla standards.
But
just
no,
wanna
Nether
remember
Roof is not. Yeah, Nether Roof is not that crazy too. By the way, people.
Yes, it
traveling on
was.
the
It was
Nether Roof broke
unlimited
the
free
server.
fast travel. For the longest time, the Nether Roof was the
It was
most
busted
efficient
though,
way to
but
get
it
anywhere.
also had once
was
again
disabled
a
because it was
legitimate
really fast
reason
travel.
for patching that.
X-Ray's
Yeah,
disabled
exactly.
for
fast
no
travel.
reason. No reason
Exactly.
whatsoever.
I'm trying to say, do you have another?
You're
Like,
right.
do you have an
Black
example
Board.
of when House changed something for no reason, just because he felt like it, and as
Yes,
significant as
I
this?
just said the Nether Roof. That
That's
was
not
a big
for no
one.
reason. That's not for no reason.
For
Oh,
no
There-
reason.
there's
Well,
probably
I
like
mean,
a
even
point.
People were
although
putting
it's
too
a
many
shitty
chunks.
reason, but he could still
Yeah.
justify it.
I mean, even X-Ray was patched for a pretty good reason. It was to get
Pretty good. His
game
quote,
balance
in his
or
quote,
whatever.
it is to stop people from getting netherite. Now, I feel like Housemaster has always been a shitty owner, notoriously
Oh, yeah.
shitty, right? And
Oh,
I
yeah.
understood that. Of course, I agree. I agree with that 100%. But never
Not how-
as
or that.
big of a change until now, and as drastic of a change where he decides to implement his own beliefs. You feel me? So it's never
own
been
belief-
to the point.
Dude, he shut
where
down
he
an
wants to
entire
do whatever he wants
dimension
to do.
over his own beliefs. Are you shitting me?
Well, hold on a minute. Hold
Well, that
on
was
a
back
minute.
there. That's different.
This is
That's
also
listen.
not the same Housemaster who did that.
Yeah,
The
As,
server's
true.
been
We
sold
assume it's
like,
not
he
the
sold it
same. Yeah, I think it
multiple
might
times.
be.
It's not the same.
There's
Oh
no
my god,
way.
you're actually washed if you
There's
think
no
this
way.
is the 2014 house. Holy shit.
There's no way it's
No,
the
it's
same.
not.
I know
House.
he's involved. That's all I know for
I mean,
sure.
maybe he still gets. I don't know. I don't think he's
He's
like
at least
running
on the
the
team.
thing.
He probably
I
gets
mean,
a cut of
the,
profits. That's
the
what I'm
owner of
thinking.
2B2T is Curtis PvP.
Yeah, he's been-
Well, that's
He's
also
own
that's also on
game.
YouTube, bro. We thought it was John Terry Gast a few months ago. Like I don't know. There's a lot of bullshit. All I know is that there's
yeah,
Back in
he's
2021,
confirmed
there
that
was
there's
a
a
lot
actual
of stuff
server.
with Walden.
He's
I don't know.
accidentally leaked things.
Okay, but like obviously that
There's
could
leaked
also just be bait.
Warmoth.
That could also be bait. You never know 100%. But we do know that there is a team working behind 2B because he does confirm that. Yes.
There's hard proof that's
The
all
main-
like
the main-
Curtis.
There's a team.
The main issue with the whole anti-X-ray thing, you're saying it's to sort of improve longevity. I'm just going to point out it's a little bit niche, but the whole thing with anti-X-ray completely fucks over the archive server as well. They are unable to accept
Yeah.
any more submissions
He never cares.
because of that. So it isn't going to help longevity, and it's actually going to make it harder to catalogue the history.
Kizzy Coco, what the fuck is this? Sorry, wait, no. Kizzy Coco, I've stopped my video just to ask you exactly what the heck this archive business is that you mentioned on stage. You say that they can't accept submissions anymore because of the anti-X-ray. Can you explain that to me, please?
And the basic premise is that because of anti-X-ray, all of the sort of stone on that, underneath any ores in that, are just read as stone, and same thing with like dirt. So the terrain isn't actually vanilla terrain when it's sent to the client; it's modified terrain. So Turbin can't accept that because it sort of messes things up, and of course he can't accept it because he can't even like verify the terrain that was there. So people could just submit whatever the hell they want. Because no one can check unless they actually go there on the server
Oh,
that the
so
terrain is
are you
actually there.
saying that so he can accept submissions, but he can no longer say whether a world download is definitely from 2B2T? Is that what you're saying?
I am not sure if it messes with world downloaders specifically, but I do know that he is unable to accept submissions as of right now.
How do
And that's
people
something to do
normally
with-
make submissions then if it's not a world download?
Well, they use world download and then they send it off to Turpin. I
Right.
presume they still can use world download, but it seems that the way that 2B sends information to the client messes around with that. It may
Wow.
be that he doesn't like it because
Okay.
all of the sort of ores are seen as stone.
Let me get this straight. Let me get this straight. Right. So, if you send a world download to Turban now, he cannot double check that it's a 2B2T.
That's also true. You could
thing,
go on
right.
like you can go on to like a single player world, build the most fantastic thing,
Huh.
and then send it to him, and he will have no idea if it's on the
Right.
server or not, unless it's like in really obvious.
What
like,
about
chunks like
stuff
ES4.
in 1.12 chunks then? Like where it's obvious that it's 1.12.
Again, the issue is that they converted it, so yeah, the 1.12 thing will be the same. All of the old ores that he would have had in previous world downloads would be changed to just being stone. I
So
would
he's
imagine.
still having he would still have a problem with that.
Oh yeah, he'll still have a problem.
Yeah. Okay. Why does Terabin focus so much on what's underneath the floor of a world download?
It's me spitballing what the actual issue is, but I believe that's how anti-X-ray work. It makes it so that all of the blocks that
Why is it
do not
important though if there's
participate-
like unmined iron, let's say, 20 blocks below where a base is built?
I don't. I suppose it's for the server accuracy.
Yeah.
But it's
okay.
also, that may not be the entire thing. It may be that he just cannot verify that it's even there.
So is he not
So-
accepting submissions then at the moment?
I don't believe he's accepting submissions.
Wow.
That's what I've heard at least.
Okay.
I haven't gone into depth with him over it. But
So do you
yeah.
think maybe if they gave him the coordinates and he sent somebody over to verify on the server itself that the base exists the way that it's been submitted, could that possibly be a way around it?
Possibly, yes. I'm not entirely sure the full extent of what his issue is, but that could possibly verify it's there. The problem is that all world downloads are going to be inaccurate because of various blocks are just turned into stone.
You mean
underneath the ground.
all old ones will be inaccurate, or
all
ones
of them
from this point?
How
All of them?
anti-X-ray works is that if you cannot see the block, if the block is not on the surface,
Mhm.
then it will register as stone, and that's why
Yeah.
you can't see ores in either the old chunks or the new chunks.
Yeah.
Because they register as stone.
What about block ESP or search though? If you add it to your client, search for ancient debris. Can we see it? Because I've been trying.
No, you can't.
Why
No,
not?
that's the exact thing. That's the anti-X-ray stuff. It registers ancient debris as stone, netherrack, I suppose. in
So you
nether.
won't be able to do a search for those blocks. You just
No, you
have
won't be
to
able to do a
dig.
search for those. Not unless it's exposed, which it can be exposed under the lava lake.
Okay.
But then you've got to deal with the lava.
So
that's
if you
above
add
the
it to your search, there's a chance it might come up.
A
Yeah, but
very
if it's
small
exposed.
chance.
Jeez. Okay. Can
It would have to be underneath the lava because lava is different. It treats it as a full block, but it isn't.
Wow. Okay, this is really complicated, isn't it? So okay.
It really isn't.
With using your giant chinchilla brain, shut up you. If you were a player at the moment and you wanted to go out and try and find some ancient debris. I'm assuming that if you're around the 0-0 area, you're probably not going to find any, even if you dig forever, and remove every block. How far out would you go to try and dig up ancient debris in vanilla mode on 2b2t right now with the update?
I've heard some people have had 20,000, and that's because
that's 20,000.
doing...
Isn't that the end though for finding Elytra, or is it the same? Is it the same number?
I believe it's around that. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe the entire Nether was mapped out, wasn't it? Within a certain spawn range.
Right.
I believe it isn't that far because again they did cull the chunks. So even in world downloads, if there was a chunk that hasn't been affected that long, then it would have become new terrain. And it would have had Nether ancient debris.
So you're saying we shouldn't have to go too far then? I would say definitely
not as far as people would believe.
I would say definitely over 150k overworld. You'll be good.
I think that would be a little bit too far. I think probably 150k overworld. Christ,
yeah. So
make me do math on the spot. Yeah.
Yes, good. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it now.
So that would be 8k.
Do it.
10k.
4,000.
So about
40,000.
That is 20 kit.
Yes.
150k overworld is about 20k Nether.
Yeah. So that's
which is what I said, and you said bullshit.
Oh, well, I thought you meant overworld in the end. Don't worry. No,
why overworld? We're talking about the Nether.
This is very confusing. There's a lot of numbers involved. Okay?
You're confusing it.
Look, I'm trying to get the hang of this update. I'm trying to put everything in my mind. Right.
When I use measurements in dimensions, I use the current dimensions measurements. I don't use overworld.
God, Jesus. This is why I'm asking you, see, because you have this very proceduralized thing going on in your chinchilla brain, right? Okay. So we're saying around 20k in Nether dimension. Yeah, people
possibly
are probably going to be finding ancient debris as long as they're not in, somewhere where it's covered in signs and maybe where the highway is. Go away from the highway, right? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, because that's kind of exciting. I've got to say, and I know you think I'm, what were you saying? Because I'm playing 2v2. I'm a scab, right? Yeah. I've got to say, it's taken quite a bit for the players all to sort of digest the idea that actually you can go and get Elytra and shulkers, because we thought you couldn't very easily without going really far because of these chunk trails, right, being deleted.
You're making the words. You're saying the words of a scab kit. I cannot.
Yeah. So people are actually finding Elytra and setting up shulker farms. Yeah. And all the old players have been unprior banned. So even if they got refunds on their alts, and a lot of people ask for refunds, quite you. A lot of people ask for refunds, and lots of old characters like Forceken and Franknificant even are being unprior banned and unmuted, and they can talk on the server. And they're going on there now, and they're actually having quite a lot of fun because the mob spawning rate. It is crazy. It's actually quite fun to try and survive. Jesus crikey. But what I'm trying to say is that all the things that we thought were going to be ridiculously unfair about the update, it's actually the pennies slowly dropping. That there's actually quite good reasons, and I can see why the admin may have decided to do each of the changes. I hate you, Kizzy Coco.
I have no words to say other than scab. You're justifying the update.
Scab. Well, I'm going to keep playing as long as my 1 month of prio
is on. Prio,
right? Okay. Yes. And I want to thoroughly investigate whether this server is still worth playing or not. The whole fact that it's no longer marked as anarchy really pisses me off. The fact that chat has been curtailed as much as it has does also piss me off. But it is really nice to see players like Pyru being able to say meow in chat again after all this time, Have you got any response to this, Kizzy?
I only have one word to say to you.
What's the word? What?
Scab.
Say it again.
Scab. Scab.
Please help me. Okay.
Scab.
Yeah. Mer.